That we approve. Motion second, all in favor, say aye.
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 It's approved. All right, Mary, Virgil, who's taking the lead today? Okay.
Alright, this is the mobile home park out off of Virginia Drive.
Go away.
They've come a long ways with it.
Sure. Oh.
Look at that.
These pictures were taken Friday.
There you go. That looks much better.
They like one mobile home having all the ones that we've got condemned down. We've got two more we're trying to get out of there, so I'll ask for another 60 days.
Okay.
They're making progress. She did have equipment in there between these last two council hearings. So it looks a lot better than it did.
Yes,
Very-
it is.
Is somebody living in that house that's living?
No, sir, they're all vacant now.
60 days should be more than that, I'm sure.
Well, they're doing it by hand.
Oh,
They're not using equipment other than to clean up the debris off the ground.
oh,
They're basically tearing the trailers apart with a hammer and crowbar.
wow, that's real work.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give them 6 days.
This one here, now Miss Gray's not gonna be here tonight. She's got a death in the family. So she won't be here, but she's made a fair amount of progress. She's installed 8 new windows and fixed her sewer lines and her water lines going to the house. She's ready to start on the inside as soon as she can get this outside button. If it's okay with y'all, I'd like to give her another 90 days.
That's all new door. Last door windows, in the screen door.
Yeah, that's brand new.
Well, I know she's done new windows. I didn't see a new door up there.
I just say one down there, looks like it.
Oh, that's just a window.
Oh, that's.
Oh, okay,
I think I just blew it up too much long ways.
okay. So what'd you say, 30,
90,
90?
yes, sir. And that's all we have for tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Junkin?
This one's in Miss Howard's district. So this one's in your district over
Yeah,
on
I'm
26.
good with it.
Okay. All right, well, we'll see y'all this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mills?
Good afternoon, Councilor Mayor.
Afternoon.
We
Good
have
afternoon.
2 applicants with 10 applications. Yes, sir. The first one is for Alatassi LLC, the University Chevron. They were approved for retail beer off premises. They didn't apply for retail table wine at the time, and so now they want to apply for retail table wine off premises. That's at the University Chevron.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Good.
All right, and the next applicant for the next 9 applications is for Central Wine LLC. They're doing the events at Live at the Plaza for the Live at the Plaza events. And so they're approved for all the dates for those
Is
events.
there 9 weekends?
Yes, sir.
9 Fridays?
Yes, sir.
Good
June 2nd through July 28th.
June 2nd, July 28th.
Yes, sir.
Can we approve them that far in advance?
Yes, sir.
Really good lineup this year. Any questions, Mr. Bill?
All right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Zach?
We've got one for you, Mr. Fails District. He's pretty familiar with it. So this is a rezoning for at 3501 McFarland Boulevard East from BH to RMF2. The location of the property, so it's off McFarland, pretty close to. There's a Wade's jewelry
Wade's
pawn.
Pawn and then Captain D's.
Yeah, Captain D's is right there as well.
Both of those people will be here tonight to talk about it.
Gotcha. I have spoken to the petitioners. They're going to be here as well to answer any
Good,
questions.
good.
Yes, sir. They're going to RMF2. The adjacent property to the east is also RMF2, as you can see here. And then the rest is BN along McFarland, which makes sense. This is currently operating as a motel. They want to convert it into a high quality studio efficiency apartments. These are kind of some renderings that they've provided for floor plans and what those might look like. And they can, again, speak a little bit more detail on that. They've been operating in different areas, so they've done this in the past in different communities. It does not conform to framework. Clearly, it's Zone BN currently. It's adjacent to McFarland. However, again, it is adjacent to residential to the east. So just keep that in mind as y'all are looking at this. It's not too out of character for this. And these are the permitted uses in the RMF1, and it was unanimously recommended for approval by Planning Commission.
Is that you, John?
Yeah, and I'm not against it. It's just that in the past, there at Wade's and then Captain D's, they've had people come down from the hotel into the back of their property, and they want these folks, and we can't do anything about it, but they're gonna ask them to put a fence there where people just can't come into the back of their property easily.
We met with the coffee place too.
Yeah, there's a couple of, 2 or 3, but I'm told the regional manager for Captain D's will be here, and then Mr. White.
Where is that, John? That used to be the old Shoney's Inn.
Oh, wow.
Behind Shoney's.
And I think it'll probably be okay.
Right there.
Yeah. Shrimp basket.
It shows a fence, but the fence isn't that big. I mean, that looks bigger than it is.
In my discussions with them, because I gave them a little bit of heads up, and at Planning Commission, they also had, Mr. Wade had that same concern, and so they seem to be open to it.
Good.
That's it?
Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you, Zach. Mayor Maddox.
Yes, sir. Just one quick thing. Tonight, we'll be honoring Lynn Moore for his service to the Tuscaloosa Housing Authority. Lynn, after 2 decades of service, is stepping down. He has certainly been a huge help to me and to all the commissioners on the Housing Authority. The reception begins at 5 o'clock. It's in the City Hall in the front where we've been hosting our receptions lately. Probably brief remarks around 5:10, 5:15, and then we'll have a brief ceremony at the beginning of council. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, Summer.
Just wanted to introduce you to our new Director of Construction Management. This is Jared Elmore. He comes to us from Harrison Construction for about a year, and then he worked at Edmonds Engineering for 15 years before that. I worked with him a whole lot when I was at UA, so I think he'll be a great asset to our team and get us moving forward. So just wanted to let you know.
Welcome.
So,
Looking forward to it. Thank everybody. It's good to meet everyone, and it's I think I've already found out we're going to hit the ground running, and we've got lots of opportunities to improve. So, thank you.
Welcome. Any other department comments, announcements, anybody? Hey, Mr. Holmes. No, Mr. Bobbitt.
Which is worse, I'm not gonna hold you to that. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom.
All right, so taking into account, Mr. Mills, Mr. Pons have presented, we'll be moving on to page 28. It's on page 3 of your short agenda. You'll be authorizing purchase of the Tuscaloosa Police Department equipment from Gall, so that comes from purchasing. Page 29, authorizing professional services contract with TTL for construction materials testing for Phase 1, the Environmental Services Parking Lot Improvements Project. You heard that at projects last week. Page 30, authorizing the mayor to execute a primary services agreement with Task Order Directive Number 1 with Garner Associates Engineering for Downtown Street Lighting Master Plan. That likewise was heard at projects last week. Page 31, authorizing the Chief Information Officer to execute agreements, amendments, and related documents for services related to the City of Tuscaloosa by Motorola Solutions. That was heard at projects last week. Page 32, authorizing the mayor to enter into a service agreement with Guardian IPCO for boiler replacement at the Fletcher Wastewater Resource Recovery Facility. That was heard at projects. Page 33, authorizing the mayor to enter into a service agreement with Guardian IPCO for quarterly boiler maintenance at the Fletcher Wastewater Resource Recovery Facility. You heard about that project as well last week. Page 34, authorizing the mayor to enter into a professional services contract with Jacobs Engineering Group for a total not to exceed $49,750. That was heard at projects last week. Page 35, authorizing professional services contract with Garver for as-needed professional engineering services. That was heard at projects. Page 36, authorizing a consulting agreement with Milliman for preparation of actuarial evaluations and the fiscal year GASB 68 report for the City of Tuscaloosa hourly pension plan. That was heard at finance. Page 37, authorizing a consulting agreement with Kavanaugh McDonald Consulting for the preparation of actuarial evaluations for GASB 68 and 65 reports. That was heard at finance. Page 38, authorizing consulting agreement with Kavanaugh McDonald for an annual evaluation regarding the conversion of the police and fire pension fund to the retirement systems of Alabama. That was heard at finance. Page 39, authorizing the mayor to execute an agency funding contract with the Tuscaloosa County Park and Recreation Authority. That was likewise heard at finance last week. Page-
For 100,000, not a million.
I caught that too, yeah, I understand.
'Cause I think Carly just had a heart attack.
Yes.
Only a slightly different number.
It's just a little bit. Now, I'm sure our friends at Para would like that.
What's a
Well,
few
1 0
zeros
makes a
between
Exactly.
friends?
1 0 makes it, 1 0 between friends is no good. Page 40, authorizing the mayor to execute an agency funding a contract with the Tuscaloosa Public Library for a special appropriation. That's $217,733.38. That is for the Weaver Bowling branch. Heard that last week at finance. Excuse me. Page 41, authorizing amendment 9 to the fiscal year 2023 general fund reserve for future improvements fund budget. That was heard at finance. Page 42, approving job classification specifications for urban development and information technology. That was heard at admin. And at page 43, you'll be approving the downtown riverfront overlay district permit for 2605 11th Street. That was heard at admin last week. On ordinances and resolutions of a general nature permit operation, you'll be reappointing Deborah Tucker as a member of the Ability Alliance of West Alabama Board of Directors. That is on page 44. Page 45, authorizing amendment 15 to the fiscal year 2023 general fund budget. That was heard at finance. Page 46 to 47, you'll be amending exhibits A and B of section 1942 and 1968 of the Code of Tuscaloosa regarding job classifications for urban development and information technology. That was at admin last week. And for adoption, you'll be setting May 23rd as the date for a public hearing to consider approval of an expansion of a bar tavern as a conditional use for Rhythm and Brews. And we have one item. I do not know of any suspended rules items, but we do have an item for executive session.
Any questions?
Are we gonna hear more about this expansion?
I can answer some questions right now, but really it's just setting the public hearing date, and then, of course, we can be in dialogue between then to give you more information, and we'll present something to you at that time.
Okay, all right. Projects 230, finance 315, and the reception, Mr. Lynn Moore, starting at 5.
Yes, sir.
5 o'clock downstairs, and then 6 o'clock council meeting. Historic preservation, 5 tomorrow, planning and zoning, 9 a.m.
Nope.
Not right.
It'll be at 5.
Okay, I was wondering, gonna be a long day, Raven. It says 9 a.m. here, so.
Anything else to do?
Okay, anyone else in the room have anything they'd like to add today before we hopefully go into executive session? Okay, all right, is there a motion to go into executive session?
So, second.
Okay, we have a motion, Bobby?
Yes, sir, we're requesting an executive session to discuss security plans, procedures, assessments, measures, or systems or the security or safety of persons, structures, facilities, or other infrastructure, including without limitation, information concerning critical infrastructure as defined by federal law, and critical energy infrastructure information is defined by federal law, the public disclosure of which could reasonably be expected to be detrimental to public safety or welfare, and as a Deputy City Attorney of the City of Tuscaloosa and Attorney Practice in the State of Alabama, I hereby certify that the matter to be discussed in executive session is an authorized exception under the Open Meetings Act.
Okay, we have a motion second, to go into executive session. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?